Game started.
Bichon from Chile. Okay, let's see. Let's try C4. Haven't played that for a while. C4, E5. So we're getting kind of reverse Sicilian. I'll just set up typical bishop fianchetto, maybe D3, knight C3, bishop G2, this kind of stuff. He sets up a counter fianchetto. So I don't want to trade immediately, so let's put the knight up there first. And castle. And see what we get here. Oh, now could I play D4? Pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes. Might be just too much stuff coming off. So maybe E3 to prepare D4 and take more space in the center. I don't worry about him coming to B4 just yet, hitting these squares, because there's no bishop to back it up. On this diagonal, he's put the light squared bishop over here.
Server announcement.
And if he does take, and I'll get a rook on the open E file, he might just castle though. We could play that on E4. So I could play knight to knight G5. There's 3 pieces attacking this pawn and only 1 defender. And if he pushes the pawn forward, I can take. So it looks like he just gave up a pawn in the center there. Maybe there is some compensation. Maybe there's some clever tactic with this knight moving. With the tempo, I don't see it. Because wherever he moves that knight, I'm still just going to take. The G knight will take on E4. So if he takes, I take because my knight is hanging. He could take my knight, and I take back with a pawn. Well, still I've got an extra. Actually 2 pawns in the center, and the weakened queen side. But maybe the weakened queen side is some compensation for black. Although I could take back with the knight even. Knight takes, knight takes. Let's stop and think about this. Pawn takes seems like the usual recapture. But this knight is not doing a whole lot here. Yeah, I think pawn takes is still better. I can push on with C4. And I need to get this knight out of the way, though, to if I want to play E4 to open up a line for this bishop. Otherwise, the bishop on B2 is not doing a whole lot, is it? Or I could leave the knight there. Yeah, why don't I do that? Instead of trying to reposition the knight, I'll leave it there for a move or two and play C4 and maybe even D5 and open up this diagonal. Okay, so he is clamping down on C5 here. Let's cover that with the queen. He's also attacking my bishop and my knight, but it's defended by the bishop. Now he's making a threat. He's going to go somewhere with this bishop and hit my knight. So I need to drop back. Can't go forward. This bishop covers all of those squares, so I have to drop back. So this diagonal is now open. He's going to check here. And I'll just drop back, I guess. Oh, I could even play e4 if he checks me. That's probably a good thing. I'm still playing c4 if he doesn't do anything. He's setting himself opposite, setting himself up to oppose this bishop too. I guess his idea is c4. If I play c4, he'll play c5, and then I push, and then this bishop is hanging. So, what does that mean? It means I should play my knight here first, so I'm defending, defending the bishop. Still keeping his knight out of c4. So I'm still thinking of playing c4, e5. Where is he going from there? He could go to d6. So I thought this was just good for me. Got a protected passed pawn. Yeah, which he can undermine, so he's going to attack it. Let's defend it once. He can drop into e4. With the, I was thinking with the knight, he drops in with the rook. Okay, how else can he put pressure on that pawn? 2 rooks and a queen. Let's defend next with the queen. I can always also play knight to d2, but I want the queen over on the queen side before I do that. On the king side, I mean. Queen over here by the king may be of use. Okay, so now knight d2, his rook moves. And then I can push on with e4. Knight takes, he can line up like that. That's annoying, huh? Okay, let's defend with the pawn to start with. Then maybe get some rooks behind it. So I suppose he could think about the move f4, f5. I have rook to e1. If he plays f5, rook e1, pawn takes, pawn takes. Knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes. It's a queen, it's 2 rooks against a queen, and I'm still a pawn up. But unfortunately I can't push on. I would really just prefer to push on here, but I can't play that because he can just take it. So I have to continue to defend. Now if I push on, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes. It's a queen and a pawn for 2 rooks. About an even trade. Oh, if he takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes. Yeah, it's 2 rooks and a knight for a queen and a knight and a pawn. Can't seem to escape that. If he doesn't take, I will probably push on anyway. Oh, he goes there. Interesting. attacking my A pawn. Okay, so let's take a look at this again. If I advance the pawn and he takes, I take, he takes, I take, I'm threatening a check here. No, if my queen is gone, I've got a rook there. Not threatening anything. Yeah, this is a bit awkward. Can't move my knight exactly without dropping this pawn. So pawn here, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes, and this pawn is hanging too. And I don't have any threats. So what can I do that's better than that? Okay, well, let's start by unpinning the queen. And then doubling rooks. That's probably the thing to do. And giving up on the A pawn for now. Hopefully I have more than enough stuff going on in the middle here to make that pay off. So rook e2, rook e1, then push. Yep. Here we go. That also unpins the knight, which is important. The queen was pinning the knight, which may be a problem here. Pawn takes, knight takes, hits the queen, and then I could grab the knight. So he can't take now. But I don't have any clever discoveries with the knight, right? I could play f4, and if he takes, knight takes, hits the queen and the knight simultaneously. The queen goes back here, and I take the knight and he takes my rook. Okay, I need to defend my rook. Okay, so now f4 is stopped because of rook takes. That's annoying. I was thinking e5. He played f4, huh? Well, it stops me from playing f4. So how about e5 here? Rook takes. Well, my idea is after the exchange, I can grab the pawn on a2. His queen will be here, kind of dangerous looking. So pawn here, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, queen takes, and it's my move. The knight is here. I could play the knight there. Pawn here, rook takes, knight here. hitting the queen and the knight. Knight takes, rook takes. Takes, pawn takes. I don't know, let's see what he does. Now if I move the knight, he's got knight takes c4, doesn't he? Oh, but I'm hitting his queen. Okay, so should I throw in knight to e4? Knight takes, rook takes, and he takes, I take, he takes, I take. Yeah, that's annoying. That is annoying. Don't see anything. So I will be in big trouble if I take the pawn on a2, it looks like. He's got this check here. I'll just come back with the queen. Looks like my queen adventure to the queen side was not well timed. Okay, takes there first. Gets rid of his liability, so he's just a pawn up here. I thought he might have just gone for the queen trade with queen to e3. I mean, he is a pawn up, but I do have a protected pass pawn. He has a pass pawn as well. It's not all one-sided. And with queens on the board, there's always a chance of some kind of perpetual, a looming perpetual. And my pawns, now that I've gotten rid of the outliers here, are nicely compact and easy to protect. So he can't really, well, if he moves his knight, I'm coming in with knight to e4. I might play that anyway. Just queen back here to b2 would be annoying. But maybe I'll move my king out of the way, unpin the knight. Oh, so he didn't do any of that. Well, that eliminates some ideas of checkmate on the back rank. So if my queen were on the e file and his knight right here, and then queen to e8 would have been checkmate with the pawn there. But so that allows his queen to go adventuring. But right now, my plan was to take back with the queen if he trades. But he could keep trading pawn, and I have these two pawns, and he has those two pawns on the outside. And those two pawns would win, probably. So I can't.
Check.
I cannot play queen takes. I would have to recapture with the pawn. But he didn't go that way. Anyway, I don't want my king stuck on the back rank, so that's why I moved it forward. So I just want to get rid of that nasty blockading knight. And right here, maybe. Threaten checks. Right, so he's got his advanced pawn, which is on the outside. That's a problem. His king is pretty secure there. Let's see, how about if I drop back here? Keep an eye on this pawn over here. Maybe go queen c3, so I have the idea coming in on this diagonal. Yeah, he occupies that diagonal. Very annoying. Okay, still defending this pawn. My king is close enough to defend this one. I wonder if I can just sort of invade with my queen. Okay, so he's going for this pawn. Gotta defend it. So now there's a funny move. I can play queen c6 here, and he can't take because pawn takes. King here, pawn here, king there. There, yeah, he's just outside the square. I have an invincible king. Of course, he's got the move queen here, check. So, okay, well, let's get a check in.
Check.
And let's advance the pawn. Now, let go of the c-pawn here, but this pawn is a big threat. So he can take there, he can check here. I've got to check here and here. Check here, where does the king go? He probably just interposes. So I think just pushing with the pawn is the way to go. And if he starts checking me, my king goes to...
Black forfeits on time.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I was not paying attention to the time. Okay, well, that was a cool win. So I'm going to upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.